How to get unstuck when you keep forgetting important things under stress. Hello everyone, my name is CS. I'm a digital marketing and personal improvement coach. Now, in my last video, I actually shared with you 4 different negative cycles that our minds tend to get into when we are under stress in a crisis. And why is that? Because of all the negative beliefs, emotions, and thoughts and behaviors we have that get us stuck in this cycle so that we cannot make any progress to solve our challenges. Okay, so for this video, I'm going to share with you how to get unstuck from one of these cycles where we keep forgetting important things that we really want to remember, but we just forget about it. And then until the last minute where we have to rush and save everything, only to forget about all the other important matters that are still pending. Okay, and why is that? That's because we do not want to experience any unpleasant emotions that we have to feel when we are dealing with these important things that we do not want to handle. Okay, so how do we get unstuck from there? Now, step 1 is something that a lot of people will do. Okay, you take out your phone, you set a reminder, and then you put a timer to remind you. Okay, you take out your phone, you set a reminder, and you put a timer to remind you. You can do this with any device. You can do this with pen and paper as well, but I always recommend a phone. Why? Because the phone is a reminder where you cannot escape. Right? Every time you take out your phone, you get a reminder. You take out your phone, you get a reminder, and our phone is with us 24/7. So at this point, some of you may ask me, CS, is this really all you want to say? Right? Is your recommendation just to take out your phone? No, of course not, because there are actually 3 steps to solving this problem, and setting a reminder is the first step. Okay, unfortunately, it's also the only steps that most people will do, and that is why for a lot of people, even though we set a reminder, we still forget about it. Why? Because we see the reminder, we hit the snooze button. We see the reminder, we hit the snooze button. Why? Because we do not move to the second step. So what's the second step? Very simple. Think back on an incident you have where, because you did not solve it in time, it grew into this huge monstrosity, right? That you really have to dedicate all your energy and all your resources to go and handle it. Okay, and after you finish handling everything, you say to yourself, I never want to feel like this again. Okay, so you have to remember this incident, and you have to remember the hassle and the pain that it caused you. Okay, now you can use any incident, okay, but don't try to cheat. You must use an incident that really meant a lot for you and then really felt some pain when you recall it. Okay, and the more you feel like I don't want to repeat that incident, the more you should use it for this. Is that okay? Okay, so after you see the reminder, the next step is you must always remember the incident where you actually paid a heavy price because you did not solve it in time. Okay, and you must link that pain to not taking action immediately. Okay, so always remember back on this incident when you see a reminder, and then you will feel like I have to do this immediately. Make sense? Okay, so after I feel like I want to do this immediately, there's still another problem. What's the problem? Now, for a lot of us, when we want to do something unpleasant and important, right, usually it means that it's something that's very challenging or difficult. Like, for example, paying our bills, or handling some debt, or doing some unpleasant task that we really don't want to do. Okay, and that's because when we see this task in its entirety, it feels so huge, and it feels like it needs so much willpower to go and handle it, right? So to handle that, what you need to do is not look at it in its entirety. You need to break it down to the smallest steps possible, and then you just do the first step. I give you an example. Okay, so most of us don't like to pay taxes, right? I mean, who likes to pay taxes? Nobody likes to pay taxes. So assuming if you want to pay your taxes, okay, because paying taxes is important, huh? So you take out your phone, you see the reminder you need to pay taxes, then you recall the incident, what happened if you don't do it immediately. Okay, and the next step is you break down the act of paying taxes to the smaller steps, and then you do the first step. And what's the first step? The first step is you go to the IRS website, right? And after you go to the IRS website, what's the next step? You log in. And after login, or you go to see the application. And after you see the application, you see some of the numbers, right? And so on and so forth. Now, the trick is whenever you feel like this, you need to take action immediately. Okay, you must do the smallest step immediately. Okay, you cannot wait, because the longer you wait, the more you start to think, and the more you start to think, the more you don't feel like you want to do it. So you cannot let yourself wait. You need to do it immediately. Okay, but here's the good part about it. Once you start on the first step, it's very natural to keep doing it. Why? Because if you go to the website, does it make sense you go to the IRS website and then you browse away? No, you're going to feel like I want to log in, right? Because the login is a very small step. So after you log in, do you feel like you're going to log out straight away? No, you feel like you want to look around and see what's in the portal, right? And that's where you go and see the application. And after you see the application, you feel like you want to handle it. Okay? And each step is very natural, and each step is very small. And that's when we feel like, oh, this is something that we can actually handle. And it feels very natural to just complete the whole process until you finish the task entirely. And after you finish it, you suddenly feel like, hey, this is not so bad after all, right? And that's the trick to it. And if you repeat this cycle over and over again, guess what? One day you are going to see something very important, and then you don't even want to use your phone to set a reminder. Why? Because you want to handle it immediately. And that is when you create a breakthrough in your life. Okay, how we create a breakthrough is not by going to $1,000 seminar and then we shout a lot of slogans, we shout a lot of intention, right? We say, oh, we're gonna break through and all that. No, it happens when we change our habits, and when we change our habits, we change our behavior and we change our life. Okay, make sense? Okay, so does this mean that if we manage to create this habit, we will not have this problem where we forget important stuff anymore? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Okay, you will still forget important stuff when you are under stress. Okay, but here's the difference if you have this habit. Okay, firstly, it will be very easy for you to be aware whenever you try to forget something, because when it becomes a habit for you, when you deviate from your habit, you will suddenly feel a bit uncomfortable. Okay, so this feeling of discomfort will make you aware very fast that you are trying to forget something. Okay, and as we said before, whenever we are aware of something, we have the opportunity to make a different choice. Okay, we have the opportunity to make a different choice. So at that point in time, you will have two choices. One, you can either focus on how much you don't want to do this thing, or two, you can focus on the feeling that you're very uncomfortable because you break your own habit of handling it immediately. Okay, and guess which one works better for you? So Tony Robbins said something that I really respect, which is what you focus on expands. Okay, meaning whatever we focus on becomes something that actually grows. So you can either focus on this feeling that you don't want to do it, or you can focus on this feeling that you are uncomfortable if you don't do it. Okay, so focus on the right feeling, and then you will find yourself get back to the right track very fast. Make sense? Okay, so now we come to the end of this video. If you are someone who actually struggle with remembering important things under stress, I would like to ask you a question, right? What will be different for you now that you know this after this video? As I said before, I always hope that after watching the video, your life will get better and better. But it can only get better if you want to get better and you take some action to improve your life. Agree? And every time we become aware of this problem, we have the opportunity to make a new choice. So the question is, are you going to make yours today? And that's all I want to share for this video. Okay, thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you have any questions or comments on any of the topics I shared or the 3-step process in this video, feel free to share in the comments below. And if you're on YouTube and you want to understand more about the topic, to understand yourself and as well as discover your unique strengths, then remember to hit subscribe and hit the bell notification below so that you'll be notified whenever I release any new video. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.